Love and light all. Welcome to my channel. My name is Michelle Mandala Nye, and today I wanted to talk with you about light and heaviness. There's a sense of heaviness in the world. There's always been a sense of heaviness in the world. And today, for many people, I think it just feels much more close. It feels much more pressing. And that's because we're exposed to so much information. Our nervous systems weren't built for this current world that we live in. We can look on our TVs or our phone and be exposed to a zillion things in one day that are happening around the world. And when we do this, we start to feel out of control with our impact, what difference our effort will make. And we can move into this state of fear and heaviness. Our nervous system was created. It's a beautiful, beautiful design by Spirit, by God, by the universe, in that when we see danger, we turn on automatically this fight, flight, or freeze system. And that shuts off our prefrontal cortex. It shuts off our ability to make long-term rational decisions, turns off our executive function, and we go very much into primitive mode. And many people are living consistently in this mode. Our minds are pattern makers. We have this system called the reticular activating system, where it automatically filters out information. Because if we actually had to take in everything that is happening around you, even right now, even in the room you're in the building you're in, whatever is around you right now, if you had to actually deal with all of that, you'd be completely overwhelmed. And many of us put ourselves in a constant state of overwhelm when we do expose ourselves to more than what is actually in front of us. But this reticular activating system looks for patterns. And if you're in a state of anxiety, looking for danger, looking for what could go wrong, your reticular activating system is going to be geared more toward that. It's going to filter the world through that fear, through that looking for something that's wrong. And this was something that I noticed in many of the clients that I worked with this week. There was this sense of predicting the future based on past experiences. And that's exactly what anxiety is. And anxiety is this sense of fearing what hasn't come about and sort of living in that path that this is what's going to be coming about. So therefore I have to fear it. So therefore I have to prepare for the worst case scenario. So this is the only thing that's going to happen. And this causes you to not be able to live in the moment. And it takes away all your power and your control over what you're doing in the moment. It takes away your peace. It steals your peace. And oftentimes we don't have the awareness that we're doing that. All of us have dealt with some sort of trauma with a big T, trauma with a little t, past events that have impacted us, our way of thinking, our way of seeing the world, our way of having relationships, our way of communicating are all built by our past. And that can cause us to continually predict that these same experiences will happen. So where is our power in that? Our power is seeing what our power actually is. We can't predict the future. If we focus on what we think will happen based on the past, that's what our reticular activating system will then present in front of us. That's what you're going to see more. And those are the experiences that you're going to have. So shifting your view, shifting your filter is where your power is. Your power and what you can control is in your own thoughts, your own responses, and your own willingness. When we're stressed, we tend to think things are just going to happen. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. What if you could shift away from that and respond differently? What if you had willingness to see something differently, to see a different outcome? What if the thoughts that you're having about this aren't true? What if it's your belief in the thoughts that are then making them transpire and manifest in your life? So I encourage you to think about that a little bit. This week, my son and I were talking about the importance of faith. Faith. I think faith is a word that can be complicated for many people. I'm a Gen Xer. I'm a child of the 80s. You can tell because I like big hair. But when we were talking about faith, my son and I thought about the George Michael song. And I looked up the lyrics. And the lyrics are how George is in the beginning of a relationship and seeing signs that he'd like it to work out a certain way, but he's seeing signs that it won't. And ultimately he makes the decision that this isn't for me. I deserve something better. So my response is going to be that I end this relationship. That's where his power is. He has faith that he deserves something better. Faith, as your faith, be it done to you, is in the Bible. What you believe will happen. That's huge. That's huge. And when we get sucked up by anxiety and stress and believe, by a past experience, this automatically happens. That's the path that's going to become more prescient for you. So this morning in my morning time, I was reading Course in Miracles, and the lesson today was your little willingness and small determination call on the power of God, of source, of the universe, to help you. And God will raise you from darkness into the light. So willingness and determination, little willingness, little determination to see things differently are huge. In psychology, counseling, coaching, we have what we call the stages of change. And this is what we notice in clients, where they are in their willingness to make change. And the model is, first, people are in pre-contemplation, where they don't really see their power of change. They don't really even not acknowledge an issue that they have. Then they move into contemplation, where they start to think, maybe this isn't working out for me. Maybe I need to make some changes. Then they move into preparation, where they decide what they're going to do to make a change. Then they move into action, where they actually start taking the steps they need. Then they move into maintenance, where they keep going, of course. And this isn't necessarily a linear model. People move in and out of it. But how is this parallel to the Course in Miracles teaching? The little bit of willingness and the little bit of determination to see things differently can shift your whole life. That's moving from darkness into light. Are you blocking your own light? Are you thinking you need to control everything around you? And if you don't have that control, you won't be happy. It's actually in releasing that control and being willing to see things differently, being willing to have a little determination to release control, to change your thoughts, to respond differently. That's going to shift your path. You're going to start seeing things differently. You're going to start having different experiences, because just that stopping and shifting, being willing, that little bit of willingness can move you in a different direction, can move you more into your power, into your light. Faith, willingness, it only needs to be small. It doesn't need to be huge. This is how we change our neuroplasticity in our brain. It's all little changes. When you're an open-hearted person, which I know you are, if you're listening to this, you are, you tend to take on a lot of responsibility for the world, thinking you have to make a difference, thinking you're powerless, thinking you should be doing more. What if you could be doing less? And in less, you're going to be doing more. In releasing control, in having a little bit of willingness, a little bit of determination. What if that lights you up? What if that could shift you away from heaviness? So, what are you willing to shift today? What are you willing to have a little bit of determination about? That is in your light. The light is always there. Light is always there. By your faith, be it done to you. Be like George Michael. Know you deserve better. And make the choices that help you stay in your light. Deep breath. Deep breath, lovelies. Okay, so your step today is to have a little bit of willingness and a little bit of determination. And then hand that over. Hand that over. Faith. Nourish yourselves today, lovelies, with love, light, and plants, and a little bit of willingness. Love and light.